Welcome to an all-new Blitz brought to you by DCMM, where we start today's show here at Union County High School up in the press box with Panthers head baseball coach Brandon Bradburn. Coach, I've had you on the show many times, but first time in person, and glad to have you on today.
Thanks for having me.
Now it's our pleasure, Coach. And you're 15-4 this year, 7-3 in a very, very tough Region 8 AA. You got to be pleased with the way the season's gone for you so far this year and hitting the home stretch and coming right out of spring break.
I felt like it could have went either way. We started off within our region 1-3, and we kind of had one of those moments where, what do we want to do? Do we want to give up, or do we want to play as hard as we can? And you know, our guys have responded, and they've showed that they're going to play as hard as they possibly can, and we've won 6 straight in our region. So you know, coming off spring break, we won 3 in a row in spring break, and we've got a lot of momentum right now. So we're getting ready for the home stretch of the season here. We got to finish strong. So
yeah, and last year's team, a great finish for you guys. You make it to the Sweet 16. You won 17 games, and as I mentioned, you're already at 15 so far this year. So you're about to surpass, you know, in terms of your win total from last year if you can knock out 2 more wins. Do you feel like this team is better prepared to make an even deeper run in the playoffs this time around?
Yes and no. Yes, I believe our lineup, the way we're hitting the ball 1 through 9 in our lineup, I feel like our lineup can, you know, probably has a better chance of what we had last year in the playoffs. The reason I would say no would be that we still have a long ways to go. We defensively, pitching wise, we need to get better on our pitching depth, and defensively, of course, but we're not at the playoffs now. So I think, you know, I think we will be there. But if I had to say, you know, right now, I can't really give you a good answer. It's yes and no. So I think we will be ready though by the end of the regular season.
And you talked about your offense, and there's no doubt you guys are clicking right now at the plate. And that may not even be the ceiling for you guys. It's hard to tell. But 8 straight wins is incredible in itself. But when all 8 of those you've scored 10 or more runs, there's a lot of teams that would be lucky to score 10 or more runs 8 times in a single season. You've done it in 8 straight games. What's been the secret for you guys so far?
Well, we try to score a run every inning. We play small ball. We try to get the first guy on, get him over, and get him in. And like I said, there's no real holes in our lineup. 1 through 9, you know, we're all hitting over 300 or pretty close to over 300. Our own base percentage is just. We've also been driving the gaps and hitting some home runs when we need to. And there's just a lot of different ways for us to win at the plate right now. So it's looking good.
And that takes a lot of pressure off you as a coach, I'm sure, when you see your guys scoring runs the way they have.
Well, it takes the pressure off everybody. You know, if the other day we were down to social circle 6-1 in the second inning, and no one really batted an eye because we knew we were going to get up there and hit and make a game of it, and we ended up winning the game, you know. So there's no I tell the kids there's no panic button. We're going to just play hard every inning and see what happens. So.
And your run differential this year is 100 plus. That's incredible. And obviously a lot of that plays into your 8-game stretch here, but you guys have scored 10 or more runs in other games as well. But then you got the stellar pitching and guys like Lane Everett, and I know there's other guys on the team that's contributed to that. But you've been in this program for 7 years, head coach for 2 now. Have you had a better balanced team than you have this year?
Not even close. We've got guys that just refuse to get out. Mm-hmm. They just refuse. And if they do get out, they're going to go back to the dugout and get mad for a second, but then they put their hard hat back on and get back to work. And that's the great thing about this team is they're passionate about what they do, and they don't settle for getting out or, you know, not doing their job at the plate. So and same can be said for pitching and defense as well. We play really hard. So. Yeah.
And now you guys have a nice field back here. I'm not sure if you can see all of it. It's a little washed out behind us. But, you know, you guys have a great field, great facility over here. And at home this year, you're 5-4. And whether this is by design or not, on the road, you're 10-0. You haven't lost on the road. Is that something going in that was part of your guys' philosophy?
I knew you were going to ask me that question. It's not. It's just one of those things where we've ran into good pitching here and maybe our approach at the plate wasn't as good as it has been in other places. And I think there's something about the bus ride, too. Mm-hmm. Something about the bus ride, the kids just get even more focused. They don't have as many distractions on away games. And, you know, we'd like to see a little bit more of that here. Yeah. But I think it's just one of those things. It's a hard question to answer. So
Yeah, usually we see it the other way around, but if that's the case, maybe you take your kids on a bus ride down the road and back.
we might go get us ice cream or something and come back to play ball.
Now you got 4 remaining games. You're in a good spot right now, where obviously Jefferson is pretty much locked up, Region 8AA. And we said before, I think there were three teams in the region right now that were Sweet 16 teams from a year ago. So you got Jefferson pretty much locked it up, but then you, Oglethorpe, and Rabun County, 3-way tie for second. But of course, you hold the tiebreaker with all 3 of those teams, as you have split with each one. Right. So you're in a good spot, and you got these 4 games left. Talk about that situation you're in, and trying to, like, what do you tell your guys going into these last 4? They're very important.
It's pretty tough. I think you can't look ahead too far. I think if we start looking about our record and worrying about other teams' records, I think that's going to get us in trouble. I think we need to just worry about the game we have in front of us, and as cliche as that sounds, I know, but we just have to take it one game at a time. And I think that's our game plan, is win the next one in front of us, and we'll deal with whatever later. So
and score 1 run per inning, right?
Try to score at least 1 run per inning.
Well, Coach Bradburn, thank you again so much for your time. Always appreciate it. Looking forward to you guys getting back in state pretty soon and making a deep run at it.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, now don't go anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. We're going to be right back here at Union County with star pitcher Lane Everett here on Blitz.
But it's dark in the cool December, but I got you to keep me warm. If you're broken down, I'll mend you, and I keep you sheltered from the storm that's raging on now. I'm out of touch.